Hello students, welcome to Python online classes. Today I am going to explain about the concept of the designing process of program by using functions. If you want use any function, then there are some techniques we have. There are some predefined techniques we have. We just follow them and we just use them to develop a programs by using functions. Now let us discuss in this session about all those things. Now let us start the session. Okay. How can you design a program to use functions? Design a program to use function. If you want to design a program, you have to follow three steps. You have to follow three steps. They are flowcharting a program with functions, and next top to down design. Third one, hierarchy charts. These three are major concepts. These three are major concepts to to design a program. So first, before writing the program logics directly, compulsory, we need to write some flowcharts, designing process, and after that, the top to down designs, the execution procedure, first we have to discuss. After that, hierarchy charts, we will discuss. So by using these three concepts, the pre-plan is fulfilled. Otherwise, without planning, we can't develop any programs. Without planning, we can't develop any projects. Because of, if you develop without planning, then sometimes the projects will collapse. And effort is also waste, money is also waste, time is also waste, all those things waste. But compulsory, pre-plan is must and should be required. Like if you want to develop, the civil engineer want to construct a building, compulsory one pre-plan architecture must and should be required now. So that documentation, that pre-plan designs, here also if you want to develop any software projects, compulsory we need to follow those pre-plan steps also. So the pre-plan steps are nothing but first we have to design flow charting, and after that what is the execution flow it is going on, how the execution process is going on, and after that what is the relation between this function and this function, like all those things we will discuss right now. The first one is flowcharting program with functions. Flowcharting a program with functions. In a flowchart, a function call is shown with the rectangle that has vertical bars at each side, as shown in the below. For your understanding purpose, the function is calling like this. For your understanding purpose, the diagram is given below. For your understanding purpose, and calling diagram is showing vertical lines on both sides. So these two lines are for your understanding purpose I given. And next one, programmers typically draw a separate flow chart for each function in a program. For example, if you have multiple functions in your program, so that multiple functions you need to draw a flow chart for each and every individual function. Deposit function, for example, it is a bank project. In the bank project contain deposit function, withdraw function, and also balance inquiry function, net banking, mobile banking, all those things we have now. So each and every function you need to draw one flow chart while developing time. While designing time. So by looking the diagrams, the clients can understand how the function is executing and how the function execution flow is going on, and what is the relation between one function to another function. What is the relation between one function to another function? So all those things, by looking the diagrams, clients can simply understand. Because of clients don't know the code now, clients don't know programming languages. Client can understand by looking that flow charts and designs, documentation works. If you design that all those things, clients can easily understand because of they are not a developers. So they need only diagrams and relations, how it is going to execute. Now understand now? Like that. For example, below figure shows how the main function and message function is programmed would be flow charted. For your understanding purpose, this flow chart is giving. Wait. So all of you carefully observe. First main function I am calling. First main function I am defining. In the main function display I have a message for you. So in the main function, first the control will comes into the and enter into the program block. Program block is nothing but whatever the statement we have inside the function. Whatever the statement we have, that those are the function. I mean, those are the statements executing. In that, one function may also call some other functions also. Here two functions. One is the main function and second one is the message function. So if you call the main function, first the control will search the main function. The program definition is available. I mean, definition is nothing but a logic. The definition is nothing but a logic. All of you carefully observe. First, I am calling main function. I am calling main function. So the control, this is calling procedure. This is calling procedure. So the first one will search into the program logic is available or not. Program logic is nothing but definition. For that, def main function. So main, one colon symbol. After that, one indentation space must and should be required. If you want to define a block, compulsory one space must and should be required. After that, you have to write that logic. Message function, and this is also calling procedure. This is also calling procedure. So one function may also call some other functions also. All of you carefully observe. First, here you have to call this function. The control will come and search into other places. The logic is available in this document or not. If it is available, then the execution process will start. So here available na, the control will immediately enter into the block because of here indentation space given na. So message is again here message function is calling. So message function logic it is searching again, and this is searching message function. Message function. So if the message function is available, that logic is also it is searching. MESC message, opening bracket, closing bracket function, and one colon. Here one print. Because of here I given one space. Some message, okay? Some message here I am using. So first you call this function. The control will searching in the document. If the function logic is available in the document, immediately the control will enter into a block, and again it will execute the remaining statements. And in the statements also contain one more function here. So that function is searching for the other logic. I mean the message function is searching their message function logic first, and it is found in the document. Then that function will execute, and that control will return back into same. The control will return back into same. How? Search and find out this one, and find out this one, and executing process also has completed. After that, and the control will return back to this function. The control will return back to this function. So message function executed. Again display that message. And here also one more statements we have in the remaining statements we have now. Goodbye. And here also one print function we have. So that print function goodbye message we have. After execution these all statements, and again the control will return back to main function. I mean calling place it has returned. So all of you careful this diagram. So this is main function diagram, this is message function diagram. If you call that message function, first it will find out. First it will search into a document. If the main function logic is available, the control will enter into a block, and again here one more function find out, one more function found, again one more message function. What is that message function? So message function has called it. So again it is searching message function is available or not in this document. So if it is available, immediately this entire program logic has executed. After that it can control return back into a message function, and again it will comes back into here, and whatever the statement we have, I mean main function contain this function. After that one more statement is also we have. So this statement is also has executed. After that, first contour will comes here and enter into a block, and next found the message function. After that message function is also set. If message function is available, that entire program logic function logic has executed, and control button return backs to message function. Again main function contain one more statement, goodbye message it is printing. After printing the return, I mean it is also written the close that function after execution. So that process is going on. Next, top to design. Each and every function, if it is a bank project, deposit function, if you have defined a bank deposit function, and also balance inquiry function, and also withdrawal function, and net banking, mobile banking, some extra services also if you have, then each and every function, first we need to draw the flowchart for each and every function. So that is the pre-plan of flowcharting. So one flowchart is indicating only one function here. Am I correct or not? Only one flowchart is indicating only one function logic. Here main function logic is, it is indicating, this diagram is indicating from starting to ending main function logic, and message function is indicating main function logic. Nothing but here what we can understand here, what we have to understand here. So each and every function we need to draw one specific flowchart for that. So that is the major important role, and in the designing process, then this is the first step, and next step is what? Top to down design. Programmers commonly use a technique known as top to down design to break down a algorithm into functions. If you write the entire code, so whatever the function you have called, that function first statement to last statement, nothing but a top to down lines of statements it has executed. The process of top to down design is performed in a following manner. A large program can be divided into subtasks. Each of the subtasks can be again divided into multiple subtasks if required. Once all of the subtasks have been identified, they are written in code. Nothing but top to down means, all of you carefully observe here. Previous diagram, main function, message function we have now. So if you have in your program contain these two functions, main function is the one function and message function is the one more function. But first we call the main function. So execution process has started here from starting to ending. It is a top to down approach now. But in between message function identified. Again the contour will goes to message function, and that message function top to down executed, and end of the program, end of the message function it has closed, and control will comes back to the message function. After that remaining statements it is executing. Am I correct or not? So the top to down execution process also we need to understand first. Next, hierarchy charts. Flow charts are good tools for graphically representing the flow of logic inside a function. Flowcharts are only useful for only single functions, because the flowcharts are indicating each function separately. Each function contain one flowchart. So one flowchart differ to some other function flowchart, because of that logic is different and this logic is different. Am I correct or not? So flowcharts are only single function indicators. But hierarchy charts are nothing but one function to another function relations it is indicating. Hierarchy charts are useful for one function to another function relations. What is the difference between one function to another function? That relations it is indicating. Like that, this is the flowchart diagram. Hierarchy chart. Now you can understand. Simply you can understand it is a predefined documents. Pre-planned documents. If you want to develop any projects, compulsory first what are the services we have, and that services we need to write in the functions. So for that function, each function you need to draw one flowchart. After that, The functions, how the functions are executing, the top to down approach, we need to define also as a documentation. And after that, one function to another function, one function to another function. For example, balance inquiry function, how it will execute? How it will execute? If you choose the balance inquiry concept, balance inquiry in the ATM, then it will show the balance inquiry. But sometimes you need to deposit also now. After depositing, immediately for your clarification purpose, you need to check the you need to check the balance inquiry option. Am I correct or not? So first we need to deposit, and after that, whether it is deposited or not, we need to check by using balance inquiry function. So one function is compulsory have the relation between deposit function to withdraw. Balance inquiry function na. So balance inquiry function is balance inquiry function has a relation to deposit function, and deposit function also has related to balance inquiry function. If you deposit, and that amount also will show in the balance inquiry function. Now understand na? So that type of relations also indicating hierarchy charts. Hierarchy charts. So that is the simple concept. If you deposit, then only balance inquiry function will show. Otherwise it will show the zero. Because of, if you don't have any previously if you haven't any deposited in the bank, then your balance is zero. Then it will show the zero balance by using the balance inquiry function. So here you are using two functions. The first one is deposit and second one is balance inquiry. If you deposit, then balance inquiry it will show the deposit function. Because of that information is collecting from the balance deposit. The information is balance is collecting from the deposit function. If you deposit, then that amount it will show. If you haven't deposit, what are the previous balance you have, that previous balance it will show. Now that is the relation is indicating by using hierarchy charts, we can represent that one. So designing process is also over right now. Next one, what is the variable? What is variable and constants? Explain the types of variables. Variable is nothing but a name that represents a value in the computer's memory. A variable is a name that represents a value in the computer's memory. Programs use variables to access and manipulate data in the stored memory. First, what is the variable we can understand. Now my requirement is I want to store my name into variable. I want to store one variable. So for that name variable I am defining Siva is my name. Here Siva is the value and it is also a string. So that's why I given in between double quotes a group of characters I configured, because of this is the valid name. If you want to store any string values, compulsory in between double quotes we need to give. In the Python programming language, without assigning any values, you can't define a variable. So if you assign this value here, so first the interpreter can read this value. If it is a string, then the data type will assign like a string. If it is a number, the data type will assign a int data type, because of it's completely depends on our given value. It completely depends on our given value. In your Python programs, if you write like this, immediately the name variable will generate. First it will store the value. First it will store the value like this. Like this. But where? In the name variable. In the name variable. In the name variable. And the memory will allocate for this given value. Here string I given, so some amount of memory it will generate for this. In the temporary memory, some amount of memory it will generate. The memory address is nothing but some 101010. Just assume that value. Assume that value. For your understanding purpose, IDLE shall be I'm opening Python IDLE. So now I am defining one variable, for example x. Without assigning any value, if you use any variable, it will not accept. It will show the error. X is not defined. X is not defined. Why? Without assigning any value, you can't use the variables. Now I am assigned 10 value for this. It has accepted. All of you carefully observe. Here x is the variable and 10 is the value. If you want to hold a value, so compulsory one variable must and should be required. So as per our given example here, to store 10 value, to hold 10 value, compulsory one variable must and should be required. That is I given as a x variable. So x is the variable, 10 is the value. Now the memory we can identify simply. The memory address is also idx. It will show the memory address. So that is the memory address. And all of you carefully observe, x is equal. Now I am storing Siva. So the memory address has same, maybe. Carefully observe. So the memory address is also changed because of the previous is numeric data and the next one is alphabetic group of characters. A group of characters I have assigned it. Now understand now? So this is memory address, this is value, this is variable. Now the value is, it is a named memory location in the memory. A variable is nothing but that represents a value in the computer's memory. Programs use variables to access and manipulate data that is stored in memory. Here data is what actually? Here data is what? 10 is data, Siva is data. So if you want to hold any data, compulsory variables must and should be required. So that variables you need to decide. Now I want to save my name. For that name is the variable. For that name is the variable. X is not sufficient to save that names. And this is the process that if to define the variables. And employee number EMP NO is equal 101. So like this, the variables programmers need to develop to hold a values. Programmers need to decide the variable names. And next one, there are two types of variables. They are local variables and global variables. Local variables and global variables. Local variables are nothing but now I am writing, and this is our program. This is our program. Example.py. Example.py. The program name is example.py. Py.py is the extension of Python programs. Example is name. That name is your wish. If you want to change the name, then you can change, no problem. But extension is mandatory for Python programs. Next one. Now I am defining one function here. Now I am defining one function. Function. Opening and closing and colon symbol. Here I are given one space here. Space. Y is the variable. Y equal to 10. Y equal to 10. And this variable and value belongs to this function because of here we given indentation space. Am I correct or not? If you write like this, and this y variable is also belongs to function. Function inside we have. Next, outside function I am defining one more variable. X is equal to 10. So all of you carefully observe what is local variable and what is global variable. So what is the variable which is defined inside the function? Which is defined inside the function. So this is function, and this y variable is also inside the function we have. Inside the function we have. So this variable, y variable, is called local variable. Y variable is called local variable. Y variable is called local variable. And which is the variable we have defined outside the function, that is called global variable. Global variable. Now understand now? And here the concept is, now I want to execute, now I want to write one more function, definition function 2, function 2. Here one colon symbol, again here also z variable equal to 13, z variable equal to 20, and this z variable is also called local variable. Z variable is also called local variable because of it is also available in the function inside. Z is also called local variable. Local variable. All of you carefully observe. What is the difference between global variable and local variable? Function inside, if you declare the variable, that is called local variable. So that's why z variables are declared inside the function. So that's why these two variables are called local variable. Outside the variable which is declared like x, it is called global variable. Global variable. And what is the difference between why we need to define this one? Why we need to define all those things? So now I am calling function 1. Now I am calling function 1. If you write like this, immediately function 1 will execute. Function 1 will execute. And function 2 is also I am calling. Function 2 is also I am calling. If you call like this, function 2 is also will execute. Function 2 is also will execute. But here in the logic I am writing, if you call like this, function 1, function call like this, function it is found in the program and y value will execute. Y value will get the memory. Y variable will get the memory with the value of 10. After execution completion, y value will be destroyed. If you call like this, function 1, first it will search the function definition is available or not in the program. It will search. Here it is found. Immediately y value will get the memory. Immediately y value will get the memory. Which value is 10. Y value will get the memory. After execution completion, it will return back. After execution completion, it will return back. The control will return back to the function. So this entire 2 lines of code executed immediately y variable. First if you call like this, the control will generated here, and the control will first the control will search for this function logic. If the function logic is found in the program, then the inside statements it will execute. That means y variable will create this memory with the value of 10, and after execution completion, the control will comes back to the function and immediately that y value will destroy. Because of execution has completed, the y variable lifetime is available only that related function execution time only. ఇక్కడ కాల్ చేసినప్పుడు ఫంక్షన్ ఎదుక్కుంటే ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ ఉంటే ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది, దీనికి మెమరీ జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది. ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఎప్పుడైతే కంప్లీట్ అయిపోతుందో, కంట్రోల్ రిటర్న్ అయిపోతుందో, ఇమీడియట్ గా y వాల్యూ విల్ డిస్ట్రాయ్. అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు ఏ గార్బేజ్ ప్లేస్. నథింగ్ బట్ గార్బేజ్ అనేది ఏంటి, అన్రెఫరెన్స్డ్ వేరియబుల్స్ ని కలెక్ట్ చేసి క్లీన్ చేసేస్తుంది, డిలీట్ చేసేస్తుంది, కిల్ చేసేస్తుంది. సో ఇన్ దట్ ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ కంప్లీషన్ ఫర్ ఫంక్షన్, then y value will destroy. Like that, if you call f2 function, function 2 function, immediately the control will generate and comes here, it will found and it will execute. Z value will get the memory. Z variable will get the memory, like that with the value of 13. Z value will get the memory with the value of 13. After execution completion, and the control will return back to function, and immediately this is also going to garbage collection. Nothing but a cleaning process is coming. So, but the y and z values scope is available in which time? Only that function execution time only. If the function execution time is over, immediately that local variables will going to die state, will going to die. That variable value will not generate again. If you call one more time, again one more time it will generate that memory. After execution completion, immediately that value y variable will destroy. But x variable is nothing but during the entire example.py program execution, during the complete entire program execution, the x variable scope is available. The x variable is available. It will not die. When the complete program execution completion, when that complete program execution has completed, then only x variable will die. Otherwise, till the program till the program has closed, x variable scope is lifetime is available. Lifetime is available, and this value is not available to this function. This variable is not available to this function, but x variable available to all functions. Available to all functions because of this variable is defined outside the function. So this x variable simply function 1 is also that can be used, function 2 is also that can be used, no problem. But y variable is only function 1 inside purpose it can be used, and z variable is also function 2 purpose it can be used. But y variable is not available to function 2, and z variable is not available to function 1. So that is the difference between global variables and local variables. Global variables and local variables. And one more concept is also there here. Here I given examples also. Just if you simply can understand, read that file and you can simply understand. If you have any doubts and come to the live class, I will explain in the live class. And next one, global constants. Global constants. Actually, all of you carefully observe. In C language, constants, constant.c program is there. For example, if you want to write any constant in C language, how you can write the code? const is the keyword is also there. Constant x is equal to 10 or constant pi is equal to 100. So pi value is common na? Sorry, pi value is 3.142 I think. So it is fixed value. So constants are useful to define a fixed values in the C program. So for that, here constant keyword we can use in the C language. In the C language, constant keyword we can use to declare the constants. Constants are nothing but if during the entire program execution, the constant values will not change. They are fixed values. If you want to maintain a fixed values, compulsory constant must and should use. So how we can declare that one? By using constant keyword. Am I correct or not? But like that, Python programming language is also like that. Python programming language is also contain constant. But by default, Python programming language does not support constants. Does not support constants. Constants. Python does not support constants by default. Here the extension is .py. But instead of using this one, constant keyword not there in the Python software. But how to maintain the constant keyword here? int here just capital letters we can use 3.142. So that is enough. These two keywords not required in the Python software. In C language must and shouldly we have to define the constant keyword because of constants are not supporting by the C language, but constant does not support by the Python programming language. But if you want to maintain a fixed values, the difference we can use compared to C language. Here you can also use small letters also. You can also use small letters also. There is no problem. PI also, and here also you can use small letters. There is also no problem. But how in C language, global variables also can support, constants also it can support. But in the Python programming language, constant does not support. Only global variables it can support. So how to show the difference between constants and global variables in Python programming language? Global variables you can define lowercase letters like x is equal to 100. So x is lowercase, a small letter. Here pi value is 3.142. It is maintaining capital letters. If you declare like this, it is global variable and it is constant. It is constant. So by default Python does not support constants. But sometimes we also should maintain the constant values. So if you want to maintain a fixed values, compulsory capital letters we can use instead of using small letters. If you use small letter, it can treat as a global constant. I mean, it can treat as a global variables. So the difference between to declare a constants and global variables are nothing but in the lowercase letters we can define. But in the constants defining purpose, capital letters we can use. But constant functionality does not support Python programming language. It's fixed. It's final. Okay. So that is the difference between C language and Python programming language about the constants. But local variables concept is also same compared to C language, and global variables concept is also same in the C language and Python programming language. And for loop, while loop, and conditional statements, if condition, else if statements, all are same. The functionality is same. Almost C language, if you know the C language and Python programming language, Java programming language, C++ programming language, all are same. Some small slight variations also we have. That's it. Okay, today I am going to ending this session, and in the next session we will discuss about the difference between arguments and parameters. Today I am going to close this session. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you don't understand anything, then you please listen once again. You please listen once again. Then only you can understand. If you haven't understand anything, then come to the live class. I will explain clearly about that. Otherwise, you can come to the college also if you have any doubt. Thank you. Thank you very much.